Greetings folks, Dan here, and welcome back to another edition of Kaiju Showcase. Before we get this video started, even though I just showed a clip of what we're going to be looking at today, I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to a good friend of mine slash fellow Kaiju reviewer, for those of you who may have not seen his channel. Samson West, goes by Godzilla72, really nice guy, was nice enough to come up from the state that he lives in and come visit us, and it was interesting to have a day to spend with a fellow Kaiju fan, somebody that was as passionate about it as me, which probably most of you know, outside of going to G-Fest, is extremely hard to find a fellow person just living near you that's really into these kind of monsters. But just wanted to give a shout out to him. Check out his channel videos if you get a chance. He does some really good stuff. But of course, as the video showed, we're going to be taking a look at Gomess. But this is the 2012 theater exclusive that was released for Ultraman Saga, the movie. Obviously only available in theaters. We'll take a look at the toy real quick. It's got this basic points of articulation you'd expect with the Saurian arms, both legs, and tail as well, moves. There is a glue seal or joint here in the neck, but there's no point in me breaking a glue seal since I don't do anything with it. It's meant to be glued, so it shall stay that way. The detailing on the toy is really good. This is an older mold. I'm going to try to see if I can get a little bit closer if you can get a better look at it. But the detailing is really good. It's got all the scales, and you can't really see it, but he's supposed to be real fuzzy up here. I'm not going to bother messing with my camera to change it, but it's supposed to be real fuzzy up there. The paint's real nice. It adds that extra little bit on the horns. And because this is a theater exclusive, it seems they took a little bit more time with the paint application of the toy, which I really like, and I'm very grateful for being fortunate enough to have this, as the toes, and claws are both painted, and there's splashes of the green or that kind of grayish blue, and the darker gray here on the chest. And it's really a phenomenal toy, and I'm glad this was my first Gomess. This toy was released by Bandai quite a few times. Actually, it was originally released in 2000. It was on the tag, it would say, of course I can't necessarily show this on mine, but on the tag it said 2080 products. Not sure what exactly that meant. It first came out in the year 2000. It was an EX toy. Later came out again that year by Hyper Hobby, but it was a black and white variant. The original toy is actually more of a darker green, and I'll explain this color here a little bit later why they went with this one, or why I believe they went with this one. Again, it was released the following year in 2001. The EX toy was brought to the standard toy line. It was number 55 in that toy line, the 2000 to 2004 Ultra Monsters line. Pretty much the same color as the EX version, and then released in a 100th anniversary memorial box in clear white with a clear red Ultraman to signify Ajit Tsuburai's 100th birthday. Unless I missed something, there would have been no other ones released between here and there, unless they're by an obscure, of this specific mold, by an obscure company. They only did, of course, this one mold until now. This was released in March 2012. Of course, as I said, for Ultraman Saga. Did not realize, but apparently he has an appearance in the movie, hence the reason it was being made. I was kind of wondering why it was a theater exclusive in the first place, but from what somebody's told me, he was in fact in the film. Of course, I have not seen that because it hasn't reached any kind of DVD or Blu-ray, and I'm not going to go find some cheap bootleg version that somebody recorded at a movie theater. I'll wait, be patient, it'll pop up probably here in the next several months or so. But for the toy itself, almost forgot, I got to do yardstick, because this is an important point of this toy that I wanted to bring up. That was my computer making noise. I'm sorry about that. The toy is actually pretty big. It's pretty bulky. It's probably a good ½ inch bigger than Hydra here, so it's probably closer to 7 inches than it is 6. If you don't have a Gomess, if I said Gomess, I'm sorry, it's Gomess. If you don't have a Gomess, please do yourself a favor and go get one. I don't know why it took me so long to get one. Probably because this was the cheapest avenue, and I had a friend that was nice enough to go out of his way to go to the theaters and get it for me. But it's a really great toy. The mold is excellent. The size is excellent. The paint is excellent. It doesn't matter what Gomess you get. Just get one of them. Let's talk a little bit about the history. This one I will, go into a little bit more since, my last video I didn't really say shit about the history pretty much. And I usually don't, but this is of course Gomess. He is technically, if I'm correct, is the first Ultra Monster. Period. He appeared in the first episode of Ultra Q. I believe it was entitled "Defeat Gomess," along with Litra, and of course he fought Litra. That was his first appearance. He also appeared in Ultra Galaxy Neo in the first episode of that, and maybe again in a subsequent episode. I can't recall. And I believe he was in Ultra Galaxy Legend, the movie, and then again in the new film as well, Ultraman Saga, the movie. But he has a really short history. If you've watched Ultra Galaxy, they explain what happens in his origin, about he's supposed to fight Litra and blah blah blah. And I won't go into that because you need to see it. But in fact, for most of you if you don't know about this and you're looking at this, yes, this was a modified Godzilla suit. I don't recall which one it was. I imagine it would probably be one of the 64 suits. Probably not, but probably the 64 suit and not the 65. I don't know for sure because that's what they used for the Jiros, was I believe the 64 suit. But I imagine that's the one they ran with, and since it would have been available, and it would have been a good deal of time before the series went into production, that suit was already done and used. But that's his history for you. Lastly, pricing and availability. This one is really tough not because I don't have any information on its pricing and availability, but because it's a theater exclusive. Pricing on this is kind of all over the place and extremely subjective. You could get a nice person that gets one that maybe lives in Japan, like, $15, $20. $15 being what I paid for it, which is right around what it cost. I imagine it was about 1,000 yen, give or take. Like I said, I had a friend, Jerry, which I really appreciate. I say thank you for you going out of your way to go to the theaters and beat up a small child to get me this toy, but, it was his loss, so you know how that goes. But it was probably about 1,000 yen in the theaters, I imagine, give or take. I don't know, but I've seen them on the internet ranging anywhere between $40 to 50, 60, 70 bucks. I mean, it was a theater toy. You could only get it if you went to the movie theaters. I'm sure it was produced in extremely limited quantities because of that reason. I'm sure if you didn't go on the day, or maybe the day after, depending on the theater where you lived in Japan, you probably weren't getting one. But as I said, other Gomess is out there. It was released 4 other times. The most common ones are going to be the EX version or the actual toy release of into the regular Ultra Monsters line, number 55, which will probably be the easiest out of the bunch. As for those, I've seen those go anywhere between 20 to 40, maybe a little more. But the exclusive ones, like the clear ones, will be a bit more, and it's really hard for me to judge because it's not like you see those ones every day. But this guy is, like I said, availability, you're just not going to find him very easily. But any Gomess will work. It's just, I like this lighter blue, as I said. I should have mentioned that when we did the history part, but I think he went with this bluish gray because this is more the color he resembled in the Ultra Galaxy show, and I imagine it's more closer to his appearance in the movie. Maybe, like I said, I don't remember colors, so I could be completely wrong, and they could have been like, let's just do it blue, and then or bluish gray, but I think it looks great. But I digress. We'll wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed it. It was really fun to get this toy and to review it because it was a monster that I knew little to nothing about outside it was based on a Godzilla suit, and it appeared an Ultra Galaxy Neo, and it has one hell of a unibrow. But thanks again for tuning in, folks, and we'll catch you guys next time.